Gyokko, alongside Hantengu, are the main demons introduced in Season 3 of Demon Slayer's The Swordsmith Village arc. Gyokko, at the time of his introduction, is number 5 of the Upper Moons. Out of all the Upper Moons, he looks the most freaky, being a small, pale white humanoid creature. And oh yeah, he's got muscles, no arms, and he resides in a vase, much like a creepy plant-like creature that's come for your soul. If you didn't know much about folklore, he actually looks similar to a djinn. But instead of granting wishes, your eyes burn right into their sockets and you die a horrible death by just looking at him. Except it's a million times worse than any nightmare you could ever dream up. On top of that, he has little baby arms on his back, and his face is an artwork on its own, with mouths where his eye sockets should be and eyes where his mouth and forehead are. He is the epitome of ugly. The kanji for the upper rank is engraved on his forehead eye, and the kanji for 5 is engraved on his mouth's eye. Not confusing at all. In an emergency, Gyoko can mold and transform into his true form, which I will cover a little bit later in the video, so stay tuned for that. This look bears a heavy resemblance to that of a merman, and to be honest, I'd rather this look. At least he didn't look like a ditto. The cactus. In this state, Gyoko retains his features, mainly his face and muscular physique, but now he possesses more of a humanoid body, covered in transparent scales akin to a fish. Gyoko also grows longer hair, black marks on various parts of his body, webbed hands, and a long serpentine tail in place of his legs. Gyoko is an incredibly morbid demon. Within the Upper Moon meeting, when Doma told him that he placed a human head on top of his pot like a plant, Gyoko immediately saw it as more inspiration for his art. The extent of this morbid and violent inspiration for this art is shown even more when he brutally murdered several swordsmiths and used their corpse to create a beautiful piece by stitching their bodies together alongside sticking several swords into them. This extreme sadism is shown even further when he built in a feature that would have them scream when the swords are shoved deeper into his artwork. This implies that they were still indeed alive. Gyoko is also extremely short-tempered. He's shallow and arrogant, especially when it comes on to things regarding his art. Like any good artist, right? He sees the morbid creations he makes as an expression of his own twisted, morbid creativity, and calling it beautiful further reinforced this arrogant, narcissistic personality. His arrogance was most prominently displayed after he was beheaded by Muichiro, referring to the mist Hashira as an inferior lower life form, while calling himself a superb and chosen being, even while dying. Another personality trait of his is that he seems to be extremely overzealously jealous. He hates the fact that the swordsmith Hananeska was so focused on his own work, not caring about his own life in the process. And this intense focus was greater than anything Gyoko could ever achieve. This made him furious and ended up so that he focused most of his time trying to kill the swordsmith, hence giving Muichiro ample time to come up with a counter strategy. Now it's time to discuss his human life. Before becoming a demon, he was a human named Managi, and that's how I'll pronounce that, so let's move right along. Managi, as he was known while he was still a human, was born and lived in a village at the end of a coastline. The village was known for its fishing. When he was young, his parents went out to a fishing trip but never returned, as it's said that they drowned out in the sea. After some time, their mangled corpses washed up on shore. Upon seeing his parents' bodies, Managi developed a grotesque fascination with corpses. Villagers would often see him obsessing over fish carcasses he found, leading the entire community to ostracize him and keep their distance, believing that Managi had gone insane. Eventually, a child found Managi and teased him for his unusual behavior, leading Managi to kill the child and stuff his body into a pot used for fish. When the child's parents discovered him dead and Managi had been responsible, they stabbed him with a pronged fish spear and left him for dead. For about 12 hours, Managi laid there, barely alive, with his wounds ebbing at his life, up until he was discovered by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Muzan Kibutsuji, and was transformed into a demon. Transitioning into his demon life, as a demon, Managi took on the demon name Gyokko. Since his near-death experience, Gyokko developed a strong hatred for all living things, embracing this new life as a demon and worshipping Muzan. Unlike the other demons, he would primarily eat the flesh of children. His strange obsession with fish and corpses would reach a new twisted peak when he began to modify his own body to look like a fish, and develop a penchant for abducting people through his pots, which are his own creation, of course. When he captured his unfortunate victims, Gyoko would turn them into art, using their bodies to make living statues, which fits his grotesque artistic view. Oftentimes, these victims would stay alive despite their bodies being horribly mangled. In due time, Gyoko would eventually attain the rank of upper 5 among the 12 Kizuki. The only uncertainty about Gyoko is his current lifespan. No one really knows when he became a demon, but due to demons taking some time to develop their own powers and grow into themselves, it's speculated that he's over 300 years old. But again, that's only speculation. So seeing that we covered not only his looks, his personality, his human life, and his demon life, let's start looking at some of his abilities and demon blood art. Most of the audio and video that you're about to hear were recorded at a different time, so I might sound a little different, so pardon me for that. I truly hope that you enjoy though. Let's start out with his ability. One of the freakiest looking demons. As being a part of the 12 Kizuki, he's been seen to be one of the most powerful demons. On top of that, his powers and appearance seem to be the most unique out of all the demon moons. He would have easily killed the Miss Hashira Miichiro if he didn't unlock his Demon Slayer mark. So let's have a look at his abilities. Immense durability. After molting, Gyoko's skin becomes layered in thick and hard scales that are extremely durable, making him extremely fortified. Immense speed and reflexes. Gyoko has displayed incredible speed and reflexes as seen when he was able to easily evade and prevent himself from being cut by Michiro's blade, despite the latter using mist breathing techniques which hinder and throw off Gyoko's senses. Immense regeneration. As a demon, he possesses powerful regenerative abilities that were further augmented by having more of Muzan's blood. He's been displayed to have the ability to quickly heal injuries that were inflicted by Nichirin blades without much difficulty. Now here's one for you. He's a talented artist. Due to his obsession with pots, he has gotten quite skilled in painting and making them. So much so that Muzan has even taken a keen interest in them and even selling them for a high price, implying that it was made with amazing skill and craftsmanship. That's pretty cool. Unlimited stamina and endurance. Gyoko possesses absolute and infinite stamina and vitality, never tiring and always remaining in optimal physical and mental condition all the time, as well as being able to endure waves of onslaught as if it was nothing. I bet you're really loving this video. Here's a great way that you can support us. Like, share, and subscribe to get notified of when we post new content. To actually get notified, click on that notification bell. Now back to the video. Personally, I think Gyoko is a very interesting demon. His abilities are not only freaky, but horribly scary. Imagine being drowned in a floating pool of water. Muichiro was the perfect demon slayer to face off with him, seeing that he was a child prodigy and the Mist Hashira, which has a lot of contrasts with both. So let's look at his demon blood art. He can materialize pots out of thin air like it was nothing, so let's take a look at his numerous blood demon arts, shall we? First up, aquatic creature manipulation. He can summon non-sentinel fish-like demons from these jars, though it's really not clear whether he makes them inside the jars or he summons them out of thin air. Someone should take a look at that. It's not just limited to fish, as he can summon other creatures such as tentacles of an octopus which he fashioned from his own cells. After summoning these grotesque fish-like demons, he can freely manipulate them to consume humans to grow his strength or to just simply attack his enemies. Cell manipulation, and this one gets really freaky, so buckle in. He has the ability to manipulate the cells inside his own pot, as shown when he mutilated some of the swordsmiths and merged them together into this creepy thing. This is disturbing, okay? He can also use his ability to mold his fish-like demons to various sizes and make them various unique properties as well. He can also use this ability on himself. As you can see, he can create tentacles from his own flesh. I just want to move on for it. Moving on, water manipulation. Using his pots, Gyoko can create and manipulate water to trap his opponents and suffocate them to death, or use the water as a medium for his fish-like demons to move easily. Teleportation. Gyoko can teleport freely from one pot to another instantaneously. Gyoko's next set of abilities comes from his molting transformation. In an emergency, Gyoko can molt in order to change his appearance. With this appearance change, he does get a lot stronger, with transparent scales that are harder than diamond, which were kneaded together inside his pot. It's stated that only 3 other people have seen Gyoko in this state. Everything he touches with his fish fins turns to fish. Basically, you even have a fish beam as well, but anyways, Let's get down to looking at his numerous abilities in this form. Mermaid Physiology. After molting, Gyoko's physical abilities skyrocket, making him even more powerful and deadly. He also removes the boundaries that incapacitate him, allowing him to move at supersonic speeds, while being able to summon fish-like demons from his fists. Fish Transmutation. Anything Gyoko touches turns into fish he created in his pot, making him extremely deadly. Thousand Needle Fish Kill. Gyoko emits fish floating demons from his pot, which can spit out poisonous needles. The poison contains paralyzing properties which immobilize the target. Octopus Vase Hell. Gyoko creates from his pots gigantic octopus-like tentacles he can use to destroy his surroundings. Water Prison Pot. We did mention this earlier when we spoke about his water manipulation, but this is his demon art's name, Water Prison Pot. He basically creates a water sphere which he can trap his opponents and suffocate them to death. 10,000 Gliding Slime. The fish which Gyoko emits in his mermaid state has the ability to feed on his enemy's flesh. Even if his opponents cut these fish, they will spread a poisonous liquid before the Nichiren blade can turn them into dust. The poison can be absorbed through the skin. And finally, Killer Fish Scales. Gyoko's ultimate technique. He claims that the scales covering him makes him a free existence, which allows his attacks to become more unpredictable. So that's our video for today. If you haven't seen our look at Muzan's abilities and all demon blood arts for him, here's the video. I hope you enjoy, and thank you again, V Nation. Stay safe out there.